Hello everyone. I had mentioned this in another video that I had deleted. This is a cat with tentacles that I bought at Comic-Con in Seattle during spring break. It's called Tentacle Kitten, whatever, but it's freaking adorable and it hangs on things, and I just have it here with me because I just have it here with me. So a little update. I don't know, my mind's kind of like right now. It's hard for me to explain what I'm thinking about because my mind's kind of like, my thoughts aren't as intense as they normally are right now, and so it's hard for me to really decipher what I'm thinking, or at least explain it. And I am drinking chocolate milk out of this mug thing. No shame. And I felt like I wanted to come at this video kind of raw. Not saying that my other videos aren't really not raw, but I mean, I just got out of the shower and stuff, and this is what I look like, you guys. Yeah, my face is really red right now. So little updates and then my thoughts, if I can explain them. So today's been the first day since I've been on my antidepressants that I've actually felt more mentally like myself. And the doctor had warned me that the first couple of days people do feel off, and I will admit that I felt off. And I think the best way to explain it is like, or at least for me, very overly calm. And when something occurs to me or like happens in front of me that I know would normally trigger an emotional response, I know in my heart that I'm supposed to feel something. So I can feel it there, but in my mind it's kind of shut off. Like there's kind of a numbness, like an inability to show that emotion or completely experience it. It's hard to explain. But today I had more of a, I actually, like last night and today, had more of an irritable response. There was a stressful situation today that happened where I did get kind of more like myself, I felt, in a stressful situation. Although, however, I did recognize at the end of the situation, I'm like, you know what? Actually, I probably would have reacted a lot worse and a lot more dramatic had I not been on this medicine. So I feel like what's going to happen is that I'm going to be able to have more emotional responses, but they will not be as intense, which is kind of a good thing, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. So that happened today. So with me being sick and still not knowing what, again, like I said in the last video, I have to go in. I got my results finally in the mail from the doctor about my blood work. I have to go in a couple of weeks to get more blood drawn. Yay. I do have some questions about the results on there because there were a few things under my CBC that had a lot of kind of like an asterisk next to it saying these numbers aren't normal. And I want to kind of ask about that because that's kind of strange that the doctor didn't say anything when there were a lot of things that were off. Yeah. So, yeah, with whatever's been wrong, it's actually given me a lot of time to figure out things I need to work on for myself. And even though a lot of people were like, oh, well, you know, and don't get me wrong, and it kind of frustrated me when I heard that people didn't believe me about this. Something was going wrong with my body since the beginning of March. Something went terribly, really, really wrong from my stomach to my head, and I just ended up missing too many classes, not feeling well. So, not good. I mean, I would end in tears because I went into panic mode about not knowing what the fuck is wrong with my head. Not mentally, I meant physically wrong with my head. But, so anyways, this is kind of a weird blessing in disguise, I feel, because it's actually given me time to recognize things I need to adjust in my life and things I need to work on in my life and things, like, really focus on trying to make myself better. And yes, I know I'm drinking chocolate milk, but I have, you know, a few guilty pleasures, and for some odd reason chocolate milk just sounded good. Okay. So yeah, so getting help mentally was definitely it was necessary. And I'm really proud of myself, even though I don't really seem like I'm acting like it. I don't know how bad that road would have gotten had I not sought help out. So that's a good step forward. And last night, actually, you know what? No, I'm going to back up for a second. So, now that I've had all this time to kind of figure out what I want to do with myself, I had a freak out moment with my friend Brianna. And we were talking about, oh, we have all these plans for the summer and our future and what the next year is going to be and la 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 la. And I'm determined to lose a lot of weight. I'm determined by this. And yes, I know I'm drinking chocolate milk, and I know I was doing really, really well today until later in the evening. It's really hard to not eat when you have nothing else to do. So I really need to fill out my volunteer papers and go. But I'm determined to lose a lot of weight. Not because what the fuck am I hearing? I'm hearing like a weird tink 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 noise in my wall. Okay. And then it stopped. Creepy. Not because I don't like being big. Because I feel like there's a bit of a, I don't know. Sometimes I kind of like being big. I like being curvy. I like having girth to me. And I like being curvy. But the issue is it's not healthy for me. I know I've gained a lot of weight very, very quickly. Especially when my parents got divorced, and not good. So, glad to know that you guys, like, I did a face mask thing, and I did an oil treatment in my hair, and now whatever's left on my face is kind of like, anyway, so I bought a stepper machine, kind of like I don't want to say like a Stairmaster, but you know, it's not an elliptical. It's not like this. It's like this. And because I tried the ellipticals at school and I almost vomited. Ellipticals and treadmills don't work well with me. So steppers are good. I don't know why. And anyways, put it together last night, or my dad helped me. Thank you, Dad. And I was working on it this morning for just a few minutes because I'm so out of shape I can't overdo it. And I know even when I was 2 schools ago, I would try to push myself too hard, my pulse would go and it would not be good. So this time I knew, like, when I started feeling really, like, I could feel my pulse, like, in my throat, I would, like, stop and, like, slow down and just go step, 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 you know, because I didn't want to overdo it. But my God, I wanted to chop my legs off afterwards. It was very, very ouchy, and I got a butt cramp. And what's funny about this one, it has like these steps, like they go in. And so it's supposed to, like, make your, like, it makes your butt kind of twist. It's supposed to make your butt firmer. And I'm like, okay. But at the end of it, I did get a butt cramp, and it was awful. But anyways, yeah, no, I was eating really, really well today. Where was I going with this? But anyway, so I'm trying to, in my mind, I have this whole idea of, like, self-improvement and how I want to be. But that kind of led to how I want to look. And, it's really, really a hard topic. Like, I feel like with my new mindset, I kind of feel like kind of whole fresh start. And a lot of that for me, fresh start, though it's not entirely important, does apparently come from how you look. And that sounds kind of conceited and a bit vain, but for some odd reason I feel like, you know, like when you get your hair done and it's been kind of crappy for a long time and you get it done and then you, like, leave the salon feeling like all fresh and new and it's like that. It's really hard to explain, but for some odd reason it really, like, gives you like, it makes you, I don't know, it just really ups your game. And so I've been asking people, I'm like, well, how do you think I'd look? Because I'm not one for tanning beds, but I'm like, how do you think I would look because I'm so pasty with like a spray tan? Not like, I don't want to look like a leather purse, or like a frickin' baseball glove, like, you know, just kind of don't want to look like a vampire anymore. And they're like, oh, you know, you look good. I'm like, really? Because I feel like I might frighten people because they might not recognize me if I'm not so white anymore. And then I was thinking about, like, you know, lightening up my hair and maybe when it grows out a little bit more, do like a little bit of an ombre on the bottom and stuff. But what I'm starting to realize is that those looks, in my mind, are more distinguished as being, like, feminine. And it made me think of, this was the deep, profound thought, and I'm still not sure if I'm explaining it correctly. It made me think of when I worked at Victoria's Secret. Now, I grew up being raised by my mother, who was not a very feminine person, per se. I mean, she's not full out tomboy, but she's more tomboy than most, and I, you know, was kind of raised in that way, mostly for protective reasons, and so I didn't really wear anything low cut or high or, you know, anything that showed off anything. Plus, I didn't really have any curves or any of this until college, which is really sad. Late bloomer. And, you know, so I didn't really understand what it was like to be feminine. I wasn't raised that way. And, so working at Victoria's Secret was so hard. Number one, don't work there. But number two, it was really hard personally for me to feel like I was fitting in because everybody was very feminine and girly and, you know, comfortable with being kind of sexualized and stuff, where I was raised away from that, so I didn't really know how to be. And when I tried to come into that kind of realm of femininity, I don't want to say that I was completely uncomfortable. It was just very, very foreign to me. And not feeling like how to explain it. Because I wasn't raised that way and because I didn't know it, I felt like I was being untrue to myself. You know, trying to push out this image that I had no idea of, you know, I didn't know a thing about. And people were really surprised when I told them, like, I had a really rough time because I'm not all that feminine, and I'm really not. You know, it's really hard to explain. So that comes back to, I don't know, I just feel like there's such, if I go with this look later, I have to wait for my tattoo to heal. If I go with this look later, like in the summer or in like in a month or so, I mean, I could do the hair early, but the skin I have to wait. If I go with this look, I'm afraid that, I know people will probably tell me, like, oh, you know, don't worry about it, ignore it. But the sad truth is, I mean, this is, you know, this is society. This is the kind of the image, the whirlwind of messages that we have kind of embedded in our brains from what we've watched and what we've read and what we see. And so, I feel that if I go with this look, there will be a kind of persona that will be attached to it that I'm not. And I don't know what kind of backlash I get or will get because of it. Because I'm not really comfortable about, you know, constantly getting my nails done or going out to get coffee or, oh my god, let's go shopping or da-da-da. I'm not saying that all feminine people are like that, but, you know, like there's this kind of, I don't know, girliness attached to it that I'm not like. And I'm sure you guys have seen that in my videos. I'm not really the most Barbie-ish of people. Where was I going with this? Yeah, so that went to me. And it was just this idea of, like, being tied to your gender and the stereotypes that are placed on it, and then, like, I don't know, I feel like it's so very, very confusing. I'm curious about the people who are in the witches on here, and I'm sure some of you will watch this, and I'm not, you know, and even if you aren't a part of that community, you can tune in. But for witches, being a woman is so powerful, and such an amazing, beautiful thing. There's a lot of weight and strength that comes with that. But do you ever feel like there's a stereotype still attached to you? I mean, would it be safer to kind of be androgynous? I don't know. Like, it just, this is how my mind works, you guys, and I don't even know where I'm going with this shit. It's something that I thought about, and it's like, am I kind of betraying myself and the way I am by going after a look that is not really like me? Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making sense. Sorry you guys, this got really deep and really weird, and I'm just gonna let it go at that, but let me know what you guys think. Sorry, I'm really rambling, and I'm not really entirely all there, but I'm more here than I was before. But this is just a lot of, like, muffled, weird thoughts in my head that I feel like there was a major, massive point that I was trying to get to, but I couldn't get there. But anyways, thank you for watching.